Hi, this is Stephen Maurer from Art Valley Community College. This is for CSIT 256 Computer Architecture and Assembly Language, and this is for, there's going to be a handful of assignments for the semester where you might find it easier to do the work on paper, take a picture of it, and then upload it. And there might be some other assignments where you want to do a mixture, where you kind of want to do both. Well, one of the first assignments we have is actually one of those assignments. And so what this video is going to show is sort of the submitting of that particular item. And I'm referring to the Architecture Lab 1 for Irvine Chapter 1 on conversions. Now, there's a homework video that is going to mention that there's multiple ways to find the assignments. On the right-hand side, the to-do list, these would be things that have not yet been submitted. And on my list, if you notice, the reason why the homework for S1, S2, oh, I'm sorry, it is down there. Oops, I forgot about that. Anyway, if you submit things, they will fall off this list, I guess. Oh, I reset, that's right. But on the right-hand side, here's the Architecture Lab I1 for conversions. If I click on syllabus, now the top part here isn't in yet, but this is a chronological list of assignments, and there's the Architecture Lab 1 for I1, and then also from within the main screen you come into, which is the modules. If you scroll down, then there's the Architecture Lab 1 for Irvine Chapter 1. So let me just go into it. Now, I already did download the Word document, but what I provided for this assignment is both a Word document and an RTF document. So for those that don't have Microsoft, let's say you're using OpenOffice, it might be easier for you to use the RTF file than it would be to use the DOCX file. Later, when it comes to submitting homework, you can submit an RTF format. So if you're using something like OpenOffice, don't just take the default, which is like an ODT or something like that. Make sure you convert it to RTF. But what I did for this assignment, if you note that, yeah, you can submit the DocX or the RTF, or I'm saying you can do it by hand and take a picture. What's not listed here, and I probably will add it after this video, is say, or both, because that's what I'm going to demo right now. So behind the scenes, before we came in, I went and I downloaded the Word document. And what I did is for number 1, I put my name, Homer Simpson, and for number 1, I said CPIC. For number 2, I said CPIC. But then, the fact that there's gaps here, I didn't completely fill this in. Number 3, the idea is I'm going to fill it in here. I partially filled the table. On this part right here, the numbers I put in are actually the correct numbers. So if you pause the video, at least you can see 4 answers. You have to then go in and figure out the other 4 that are here. But what I'm choosing to do for submitting this assignment is that I'm going to use the Word document for number 3, and I'll use the Word document for number 4. So the first couple of rows that I did, and the reason I'm not scrolling down is I can do the rest, but let's just pretend I did. And so if this is what I'm going to be submitting, now I already have saved this in what I call a practice folder. So if I go and look at my practice folder, here is the Arc Lab. Let me just be paranoid and double check that, yep, this is the one I'm going to submit. Now what I did is that number 1 and number 2, I did on paper. And I took a picture of it using my cell phone, and then I mailed it to myself because I'm on a computer. Well, I guess I could have used the picture on my computer, but it would be awkward because it's only a front. Anyway, so this image here, and by the way, this is so totally the wrong answer. This is not the right answer. You might want to make note of it to make sure you don't do the same boneheaded thing that I did, but this is not the right answer. But let's just pretend for number 1 and number 2 that you just do it by hand because it's easier for you to do it by hand. Then you can take a picture of it and attach the picture. So what I have in my practice folder here, I have the Arc Lab 1 and I have the image. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to submit right now those 2 files. So I'll do a choose file, and I'll go to my practice folder. I'll take the Arc Lab. I'll attach that. I'll add another file. I'll take the picture, I'll add that, and now that I have these two files attached, I will submit the assignment. And I'm wondering if I should pause the video because I'm on a very slow internet connection and wait for it to come back, because I didn't resize the picture, and I think the picture is, well, it's a meg. Well, my internet connection isn't that slow, is it? Let me pause for a second. As I was hitting pause on the video, it went and submitted. So one thing, by the way, so on the right-hand side, you actually could see what was submitted, and so you could re-download. So for the purposes of like a Word document or a picture, at least you can peek to see, well, is it actually what I had attached? So you could do that. What I allow are multiple submissions. So up until when it's due, you can keep resubmitting and resubmitting. The one thing I will say, though, what is sort of like a bug in Canvas. If I download all the assignments for the class, it only downloads the last submission. So if there are two files, it would almost be best in the last submission if you attach both, because what happens is if I just do a bulk download, I'm not going to see the other submission. Anyway, so for there's a handful of assignments where you might find easier to do all or part of it by hand. This architecture lab is one of them. There will be, and actually, let me go back to syllabus and point this out, just to kind of look into the future. The homework here, S9 and S11, that is the only homework for the semester that's all problem-based. You might find it easier to do that one by hand as well, and take a picture. So there's a handful of assignments that it would be easier to do it that way. Again, now the Word document that I did, I could have actually put my answers for 1 and 2 in the Word document, but I was just trying to, and I actually could have done all 4. I could have done all 4. I could have used a piece of paper and did number 3 and number 4 on the piece of paper as well, took a picture of that piece of paper and uploaded it. If it seems like I'm being very wishy-washy, what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to be, for when I can be flexible, I'm trying to be flexible. And so for that, I will take a picture, I will take a Word document, I will take both. And even if you submit 4 files, let's say you do number 1 is one picture, number 2 is another picture, number 3 is another picture, number 4 is another picture. Or if you have 1 Word document and 3 pictures, I will deal with it. So where I can be flexible, I'll point it out. There are other places I'm not flexible whatsoever at all, and I'll be rigid. But on this particular case, trying to help. Okay. Yeah. Oh, wait a minute. So just out of curiosity, I already submitted. If I go and click on this again, it should show that it already has been submitted. So that's one thing, is a way of just double checking. And if you see resubmit, it means it's submitted, and on the right hand side would be the attachments. Now I'll shut up.